Our nuclear revenge. First of two stories. Unjustly fire me? Let me make you go bankrupt real quick. I was told to post this here, so here we go. This happened a few years ago, and still makes me giggle with glee to this day. I'm a 34-year-old F, who has always been a bit of a tomboy. I like cars, sports and reptiles. When I was 25 I wanted a career change, and finally follow my dream of working in an auto repair shop, as a painter, like my father always did. To start my education I needed to already have a job at an auto repair shop as an intern. So I searched and called a lot of companies to see if they had spots. There were literally several companies that laughed at me because there's no place for a woman on the work floor. Disheartened, I tried one final company, who said he'd take a chance with me. I was thrilled. I was promised lots of opportunities to learn and a steady job after graduation. I started a week later, and the first 2 weeks were awesome. I learned a lot, and was promised even more opportunities. He promised I would have 2-3 hours a week of private time with the resident painter for practice. Soon after though it went downhill. The owner had bid on a contract with a large city in our country to restore underground containers. I had to sand them down, put sealant on the edges and prepare them for painting. Tedious work, but I did it diligently. The promised practice time never happened. After a while, all I did, day in day out, 8 hours a day was sand down underground containers. By then end of the day my hands and wrists were numb from the vibrations. This BTW is illegal. You're not allowed to sand with a pneumatic sanding machine for more than 4 hours a day in my country, as it causes severe wrist and hand issues. After several months the contract with the city ended, and I hoped my promised practice time would come. But no, it didn't. I was given jobs that had nothing to do with my education. I was told to do jobs that a contractor should do. Like put rebar in front of the windows, repair the sliding doors, repair walls and other small things. Basically nothing to do with my desire to become a painter. After 6 months of doing literally nothing that I could counter my education, my boss called me into his office. He told me he was fed up with my attitude. He made a mistake hiring me. I was fired, on the spot. I was heartbroken and cried the whole way home. I didn't get it. I put 110% into my job, working hard, always on time, staying late if needed and never complained. I didn't understand what happened, and was pretty down for a while. However, several days later I found out I was pregnant, which helped me get over my downness. We had been trying for over a year so we were ecstatic. When the time came that my final paycheck should come in, nothing happened. A week after it normally came in, I called, but was told to not complain and it would be transferred shortly. 2 weeks later, still nothing. Called again and got a very irate boss on the line, cussing at me and calling me things I will not repeat here. I was fed up, and contacted my lawyer. Here comes the revenge part. Mwahaha. In my country, there's apparently a few laws that my boss broke, without me even knowing about them first. You're not allowed to fire somebody without reasonable cause. You need to document bad behavior, and give the employee a write-up. After 2 write-ups you're allowed to terminate. My boss never did this. Unlawful termination can end in a fine, and the employee has a right to get as many monthly pays as the employment contract would have continued if the employee wasn't terminated. Which would mean I had a right to another 6 months of pay. Second, you must pay the final paycheck within a week of termination. We were now going on week 4. After the first week, an employee is entitled to compensation of up to €100 per day of not receiving their paycheck. Meaning I was now entitled to at least €2,100 extra pay. My lawyer wrote up a letter to my boss, stating we would be pursuing my legal rights. He didn't respond. A week later we send another letter, increasing the compensation for late payment as we went. After a month of my lawyer not getting any response, suddenly I received my pay. No compensation, nothing, just basic pay. My lawyer recommended to go to small claims court, and so we did. Mind you, it takes about 3 months before you can appear before court. He didn't even show up in court, but send a statement through his lawyer, saying how I was a horrible employee blah blah blah. However, he had no proof whatsoever, but I did. I had my performance reports from 1 month into employment and 4 months into employment. And they were stellar. The judge saw right through my boss's bullshit and awarded me -6 months of pay, 12,000 euros, -4 months of late payment compensation. This is because he didn't pay the full amount my lawyer requested, as was my legal right. About 12,000 euros. Legal fees, now about 3,000 euros. I was paid the same week. He was then also charged with a fine for violating employment laws. He had to pay 50k. This resulted in the Employment Bureau. This agency makes sure companies comply with employment laws etc. investigating the company. They discovered the building I worked at wasn't safe. The foundation was unstable, walls were crumbling and tilting. He was told to make repairs or they would close him down within a month. By accident they discovered he was also cheating on his taxes. So the tax agency got involved. He got charged with embezzlement and tax evasion for both his companies. He had to pay back all taxes he evaded, plus a 100% fine, coming to a staggering 250k over several years. He didn't have that kind of money, and after struggling for about 2 months, which resulted in him not paying his other employees, he went belly up. Both businesses shut down, and the building I worked at even got demolished 7 years later. It's still an empty plot, and if I ever feel put down by somebody, I take a short drive to that place. And it reminds me, people will sometimes get what they deserve. Edit. Wow, the response to this has shocked me. And I wanted to answer some common questions. I'm from the Netherlands, and yes, I'm using $sign and the name IRS. Mostly because I wanted to make this post easier to read for everybody. I'll not use them in the future as it seems to confuse some people. Sorry about that. Yes, my colleagues lost their jobs too, though they did encourage me to seek justice. They too were wronged by him. First off, he let them work in an unsafe environment, which he knew was unsafe. And after I left, he asked his employees to work for free as he had financial issues which were later proven to be untrue. At that point anyway, lol. Most didn't accept this and left the company. The ones who stayed did lose their job and he went belly up. I kept in contact with most of them. 2 went into early retirement and are happily enjoying it. Others have moved on and found better jobs within the week. I did feel guilty at first, but the end result, including my colleagues finding better employment, made it worth it. Yes, I did find another painting job for about 3 years, after which I got ill and am now waiting on a kidney transplant, also in a wheelchair. Genetics, not environmental. Kid is doing fine. He's 7 now. The sweet age of them being awesome and slightly annoying all at the same time, haha. And finally, a shout out to my favorite YouTuber / his videos inspired me to actually sit down and write this all down. Before we get to the second story, please press the red subscribe button below if you're enjoying this so far. Abuse my friend? Have fun in the hospital. Hi guys, I'm using a fake account because this story involves illegal activities. Warning, this is a serious, not funny story. Includes violent situations and rape. No, I'm not the rapist. Long background. When I was in high school, 1999 to 2002, in Brazil, before we had one of the best laws against violence to girls, I had a group of friends, 6 guys and 2 girls. We're a really diversified group. I was a nerd. One of the girls was an emo, the other was a beauty queen. We had 2 soccer players and 3 that didn't really had a group. Sometime in our second year, an idiot started to frequent our high school. He was a total douche, son of an influential politic of our city. He had a crush on our beauty queen, BQ, for short. Not a good type of crush. A stalker type. He started to try to hug her, being all friendly, and she was really uncomfortable with it. She asked him to stop, but he just replied with, "Stop being difficult, I know that you like it." She tried to talk to teachers, but Dooch wouldn't do that. So we started to act like bodyguards to her. Every time she walked on the school, at least one of us would stick to her. Well, that just make the things worst. Now he would follow her to her home. We started walking her to her home too. One day, he didn't come to school, so we had the stupid idea that if he didn't came, we didn't need to escort our friend wrong. He attacked her on the middle of the way. He raped her. Didn't penetrate, but groped and made her suck him. I will not put all the details, because I'm mad just remembering. It was horrible. When she got home, her parents were on a vacation. Wedding anniversary I think. She called me. Told me everything. I called our group. We all go to her house and we did the best we could to help her. Me and the other boys agreed on one thing. He would pay. I told our other female friend to sleep with her. Me and our friends go to our home and prepare ourselves. We grabbed cheap shitty masks, black clothes and we headed to school, the equipment on our bags. We all studied, and when school was finished we followed him. When he was alone on the street we assaulted him. We beaten him. A lot. When we finished, I just go to a payphone, called the hospital. Hello, what's your emergency? There is someone really hurt on address. What is the stat? I hung up. Our job was done. Aftermath. The school announced that Dush was on the hospital with broken ribs, one broken arm, a foot broken, and other bones cracked. No one knew what happened, just us. When my friend learned what happened she was mad at first. She is too kind, but was grateful later. Why we didn't go to the police? We didn't have enough proof. He didn't penetrate her, and even if we could put him in jail, his father was a really influential guy. The douche would probably get out really quickly, and would probably attack my friend again. What we did was wrong, but I don't lose one night of sleep because of it. Me and my friend still talk to this day. Thanks for watching. Please press the like button if you enjoyed and the notification bell next to the subscribe button to never miss another video. Let me know your thoughts below. Bye.